10.
let's go for main engine start.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And booster ignition liftoff of Space Shuttle Discovery, taking the space station to full power for full science.
This is Mission Control Houston.
Discovery roll program.
Roger roll, Discovery.
Discovery's roll maneuver is complete. It is now in a heads down position.
We used to dream of the stars.
Expanding our knowledge, expanding our lives in space.
This moment, once the pinnacle of human achievement, now scrolled past on phones more powerful than the rocket that took us to space.
Discovery's roll maneuver is complete. It is now in a heads down position on track for its flight to the International Space Station.
Everything we've learned, everything we've built, fits into the palm of our hands.
These are not 3 separate devices. This is one device, and we are calling it iPhone. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.
Here it is, our brand new GeForce RTX 50 series Blackwell architecture. The GPU is just a beast. 92 billion transistors, 4,000 tops, 4 petaflops of AI.
We carry miracles in our pockets, yet everything still feels the same. Technology continues to advance at an exponential rate. Every year, there are smaller transistors and more powerful chips. The newest phones have cameras 2 times better. The newest graphics cards, with AI capabilities 4 times more powerful. Thinner, denser, better. Yet even so, we have arrived at the Great Plateau. The numbers keep rising, but we don't feel it, and that's because of the law of diminishing returns. This simple economic principle is grounded on the fact that resources are limited. In simple terms, a company can inject as much cash as they want into developing a product, but if the infrastructure does not exist, if the relevant technology and their respective architectures don't support the new changes and can't keep up, the final product will always be held back. Thus, there will always be a bottleneck. You can try put as many transistors onto a chip as you want, but if you don't have the architecture to support it, you will never feel it. Okay, hold up. This is getting way too dramatic. Economics aside, there is another reason why everything still feels the same, and it's rooted in our biology. Let me explain. Okay, so our brain likes dopamine. This is our brain, and dopamine. This is a chemical in our brain. This chemical tells us brain what we like, what we don't like, what stuff we want to repeat, what we don't want to repeat, and it modulates a lot of other neuro pathways that we have. Generally speaking, there are certain activities that we can do that raise our dopamine levels. Now, usually the dopamine will go back down to what we refer to as a baseline. However, with novelty seeking, typically what happens is you get the next best thing and the next best thing, and inadvertently you raise your dopamine baseline. So what's going to happen is the next new thing that comes out is going to be a little bit better. And then when our dopamine comes down, it's going to go up in a stepwise fashion, raising our baseline tolerance. The more we have, the less exciting everything below this line becomes. And thus comes that boredom with every new feature, every new gadget that we go out and seek. But even that's not the full story of it. to really understand why it feels like everything's still stagnating, despite what the numbers say, we need to look into the psychology of it. Now, remember when I talked about dopamine? Well, that forms the basis for what we refer to as hedonic adaptations. We as humans are astonishingly good at normalizing new changes to our environment. Here, let me give you an example. Do you remember when you got your first phone? Or that new coffee machine? Do you remember your first car? Do you feel as excited now using it than the first day you got it? I mean, you'd be lying if you said it did. That's not because we're ungrateful, but it's simply because we've reached a level of homeostasis with our environment that makes it seem normal. It's the new baseline. This applies to all the technology out there. So then, what about something makes it feel like progression? The progression we're talking about is relative, not absolute. The average consumer doesn't measure progress by what it does, but how it makes them feel. And it only feels like progress when it crosses boundaries that we didn't even know existed. People measure progress by what came before, not by what's possible. So if it doesn't break boundaries and doesn't introduce a new way of living your life, then it's seen as slow progress. In reality, what's happened is we have improved. It's just most years, every new product is building on the foundation that was set before it. And every now and again, we do have revolutionary products dispersed in between. As such, majority of our experience when it comes to that progression is really just small refinements. On top of that, we as humans are sensitized to the topic of change. It's how we thrive and really how we make use of our big monkey brains. So it's not like we've technically stagnated, but it's more so like the more progress we make, the harder it becomes to feel because we expect that of it. Innovation used to mean progress, but now it's a means to profit. The market has co-opted innovation, turning it into a product that must be sold every year, whether or not it meaningfully improves your life. In the past, innovation was often driven by necessity. War, survival, problem solving. I mean, take a look at these. What do all three of them have in common? They all change your life in an unreal way. And that's why I call them the Holy Trinity. That's beside the point. Today, innovation must be consumable, something you can sell, repackage, and repeat. So instead of moonshots, we get screen size changes and smaller devices. Innovation is no longer sacred. It's mass produced. Every ounce of new must be packaged, priced, and pushed. It used to fix problems, but now it finds markets that don't even need to exist. We used to measure it by how it transformed our lives, but now, just by how many units it ships, how many views it gets, how many box office sales there are, it no longer means what it used to, and that's why it feels like everything's just stopped. From problems, we created solutions. For survival, we subdued the wilderness. For curiosity, we sailed the horizons. For our existence, we did the impossible. Innovation lies at the heart of humanity's initial endeavor. And in the past, it meant survival. Each breakthrough we made solved a threat to our transient existence. However, we've come so far now that our biggest question is convenience, and our most ambitious endeavor is hedonism. Life has become so easy for those who care about stagnant progress, that our biggest battle is with the empty time that we have. As a society, we have become so complacent and safe, and it's come to the point of creating artificial challenges for ourselves to overcome. And we started to prompt innovation so that we do not collapse as a species. What I'm getting at is that the fragility of where our drive is rooted is one major reason for why innovation has slowed down. But I think it's fair to say, without the purity of wonder and without a drive rooted in something more virtuous, the only thing and the only other way humans will innovate spontaneously is with a common goal. We talk about this plateau as if it's a cliff we've run into, but it isn't. It's a mirror, and when we look into it, we don't see a dead end. We see ourselves. It's not that the next leap isn't possible, it's that we've stopped leaping. Somewhere along the way, we traded exploration for iteration and wonder for comfort. We became our own hurdle and got stuck in a loop that keeps getting smaller. But a mirror can also be a window if we choose to look through it. The choice to climb again doesn't belong to the engineers or the executives or even the algorithms. It belongs to us. We just need to find something worth chasing. Something that you wouldn't mind enduring discomfort for. Something that you would be excited to share with others. Reinvent that spark in your own mind, and you'll see that we didn't really plateau in the end. You just needed to find the progress within yourself to finally be able to see it outside.